How's it going, everyone? Feels like I don't do a lot of videos talking about PlayStation Plus leaks these days, but here we go. Deal Labs has come in clutch and has leaked two major titles coming to PlayStation Plus in the month of July for Plus Extra, and I gotta say, this is the level of quality I want to see out of the Plus Extra editions. These two titles, and given it's Deal Labs and Biblicune, I'm very confident is going to be the case, I think adds a lot of value to PlayStation Plus, and it's not the biggest games in the world, but they're games of quality that still go for a hefty price that I think are worthwhile. So we'll talk about that, and on top of that, we have a couple of updates on various PlayStation titles that probably will be out relatively soon. One of them we know will be out soon and has gone gold. The other one has gone rated for PlayStation 5. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But right off the top, Biblicune has leaked the fact that Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion and Remnant 2 will be added to PlayStation Plus Extra for the month of July. Now, I have to say that these are the level of titles that I would like to see out of PlayStation Plus. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, I just feel like timing isn't great. Like, I would have thrown this game on Plus Extra back in January, a month before Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out, because Zack, people should know Zack's story now going into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Let's just put it that way. But, better late than never, and I have to say that Crisis Core is a game that is very, very good. Like, I played Crisis Core back when it came out on the PlayStation Portable back in 2008. Enjoyed it back then. Your boy, got a little emotional by the end of this game. I just thought it was really, really well done. The remaster, it's not a full-on remake. Let's get that, out of the way, but it is a really well-done upgraded release that adds some quality of life updates that make the battle system and the DMW and all that a lot more engaging. It's a fairly short game for Final Fantasy standards. Like, you can finish it in like 18 to 20 hours, and there is optional content that can certainly extend the game, but that is a nice addition, and Sony and Square Enix have always had a really solid relationship. PlayStation and Square Enix, there's a lot of major titles from Square that are available on PlayStation Plus, although a lot of the Final Fantasy titles recently did get pulled from Plus. You guys know how the thing works as far as, subscription services. They come in for a window of time. Once that window expires, you come back to the table, you can re-up the license, or those games leave the service. And in the case of a lot of the legacy Final Fantasy titles, they have left the service. So, kind of interesting now with Crisis Core entering the service. And then on top of that, probably for a lot of you guys, the more captivating edition, Remnant 2. That's a big addition. Now, it is just the base game. There's been some DLC rolling out for Remnant 2, and, that DLC's been received pretty well, but the base game is, by all accounts, a really, really well done game. I haven't played it enough to really give you guys a definitive opinion on it, my definitive opinion, but, it's a third-person shooter with your Souls-like elements, fairly challenging, very replayable, and another game that goes for like $25 to $30 on sale. So when you're talking about Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion and Remnant 2, these are games at a they came out a little while ago. Remnant 2 at this point, I believe, was a July 2023 release. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion was December of 2022, but they still go for a pretty penny. I imagine that these are two games that a lot of people don't at least own one of them and can find some enjoyment out of. Again, games at this level, games that like a Dying Light 2, a Dead Island 2, Dead Island 2 at this point is like 16 months old. I don't think that would be a crazy addition. I don't think a Dying Light 2 would be a crazy addition. Games at that level, I think would be quality additions, and I'd have to sit down and really come up with a bunch of games, but, more of this, less of a farming simulator being added. And I know there are people out there that like your farming sims. You get the idea, but, add farming sim, but also add these. Let's put it that way, because from a quantity standpoint, that hasn't been really high with Plus Extra either. So let's get the quantity up, let's get the quality up, and I feel like with these two games, they do add a level of quality that Plus Extra has been sorely missing. So let's hope stuff like that continues, and let's hope the rest of the month is quality as well. Remember, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is going to be leaving the service. The My Little Pony game is going to be leaving the service, and that's huge, and a couple of other titles, but Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is the major game leaving the service on the 16th. Let's replenish the quality offerings with Crisis Core and Remnant 2. That's a huge thumbs up for me, and yes, that's coming from somebody that my expectations out of Plus Extra are literally in the toilet. So maybe I'm giving Sony way too much credit here, but I am pretty harsh on them month to month when it comes to Plus Extra. So when I see something like this, that does make me relatively happy. All right, a couple of other updates to note real quick. Warhammer Space Marine 2 has gone gold, and that means that the game is done. It is being printed onto discs, and the development of the core game is done. Now, that doesn't mean the entire development is done. They're still working on updates for the game, DLC content, everything like that, but the game is dropping on September the 9th as they listed, but it is doing the early access gimmick, which is a little bit unfortunate, but this is going to be a standardized thing, I think, for most publishers going forward, and Focus Entertainment, I believe, has done it with a couple of their other titles. But this game looks awesome. To me, what Warhammer Space Marine 2 reminds me of is like Gears of War at its absolute pinnacle. Over-the-top, third-person shooting gameplay, visceral as all hell, and just chaos X100 with Warhammer Space Marine 2. Embody the superhuman skill and brutality of a Space Marine, unleash deadly abilities and devastating weaponry to obliterate the relentless Tyranid swarms, defend the Imperium in spectacular third-person action in solo or multiplayer mode. So that is going to be coming out on September the 9th. Development is done. They do have a gold edition. Again, that'll get you 4 days of advanced access. And they also have an ultra edition that's $10 on top of the gold edition. So yeah, all these publishers are going to be trying this as far as trying to get even more than $60 or $70 out of the consumer. And it is what it is, but Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, guys, is going to be one of the first games in this wave of big titles coming out in the latter portion of the year, really kicking off with Black Myth Wukong. Then you go into Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, and I'm probably forgetting about other titles in there, but end of August, September, October, it's going to be a fun time to be a gamer, let's just put it that way. Lastly, I do want to note this, Shadows of the Damned Hella Remastered has been rated on the ESRB, so a release date announcement for this is probably not too far off, and platforms is listed for PlayStation 5, and this has been scheduled for 2024 for a while. This is one of those games that's going to get a release date and then come out like 2 months after, so I could see a release date getting announced for in August for October, something like that. Like, this isn't a game that's going to have a 6-month lead time into its release date. I still foresee it hitting that 2024 window. Shadows of the Damned is a game that I played back in 2010, I think it was when it came out, 2010, 2011, 2012. It was one of those early 2010 games that wasn't amazing, but I really put it in the category of some of those games that didn't get a lot of attention. Shadows of the Damned, you know, Lollipop Chainsaw, El Shaddai Ascension of the Metatron, Thorn Enslaved Odyssey to the West, and they're games that I would love to see all of those games, and I think the majority of them are now available on more platforms. El Shaddai recently just got dropped on the Switch. A Lollipop Chainsaw is getting a remake, Shadows of the Damned is getting this remaster, Enslaved Odyssey to the West, Ninja Theory title still stuck on PS3 360 Purgatory. It is available on PC, but that's a game that I think a remaster would be great. I don't know if Bandai Namco has the rights to it, and they could easily do a remaster, whatever the deal is. That's a great game that doesn't get enough attention, but Shadows of the Damned, hopefully we'll get that release date announcement here shortly, and it's one of those games that, you know, I foresee it being priced at $40 or $50, and at that price point, I don't know, you guys know how I am. I'm a little bit cheap when it comes to stuff like this, but, you know, once it gets discounted, I think it's a worthwhile purchase at like $15 to $20, and, you know, it's a worthwhile playthrough. And some people that are super into Shadows of the Damned are gonna be like, dude, just buy it, recommend it at $40, $50. You guys know how I am when, I talk about game pricing. I'm always gonna say $50 is a hefty price point to drop on a game like this, and it's a remastering of a low-key 2011 title. Like, that's where I'm coming from, but it's certainly a zany game that a lot of people are gonna enjoy. But that's gonna do it for me. Again, Bibly Kun is always on the money, so I'm led to believe that this is going to be a part of the PS Plus catalog update in July, and I gotta say, huge thumbs up on that. That is a great, great addition with Crisis Core and Remnant 2, and hopefully the rest of the lineup might not be at this level, but we can get some quality there as well. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 goes gold, and Shadows of the Damned is rated on ESRB for PlayStation 5. Hopefully that announcement of a release date will be coming here shortly. That'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.